Final update. We don't need your opinion, just your signature, my family said, selling our ancestral home without consulting me. You never cared about legacy anyway, they claimed. I signed without arguing. 3 months later, when they learned what that property was actually worth, my voicemail box was full. Part 2. It's been a week, and I wanted to share an update after my last post. I hired a real estate attorney who specializes in family property disputes. She didn't sugarcoat it, they were trying to commit fraud, she told me bluntly. By concealing material facts about the property's value and the buyer's identity, they were breaching their fiduciary duty to me as a co-owner. She advised documenting everything, which I had already started doing. Every call, text, and email was saved, every meeting was recorded. My state is one-party consent, which worked in my favor. 2 days after my post, my father and uncle finally responded to the legitimate developer's offer. They rejected it outright, claiming the property wasn't for sale anymore and that we should keep it in the family. My attorney immediately sent them a letter about their obligations as co-owners and the legal implications of rejecting legitimate offers while trying to self-deal. That's when things got spicy. My sister showed up at my apartment unannounced this Monday. You have to stop this, she said, pacing around my living room. Do you know what you're doing to Dad, to the whole family? She admitted they should have been more upfront but insisted this development would secure the family's future, just not my future. I pointed out and showed her my lawyer's assessment of what they had been attempting to do. This could have resulted in civil penalties, possibly even criminal charges for fraud. I explained, is that the family future you were planning? She broke down, then admitted that her husband had connected with a developer over a year ago. They had been planning this since before approaching me, calculating exactly how to present it so I wouldn't ask questions. They had even discussed forging my signature if I refused, believing I would never check up on the property anyway. We didn't think you cared, she repeated, now crying. You never come back, you never talk about the land. We figured the money would be enough for you. After she left, I received a call from my uncle. His tone had completely changed. We may have mishandled this situation, he began, sounding rehearsed. Your father and I have discussed it, and we're willing to consider the developer's offer now. I asked about my sister's husband. That arrangement has been reconsidered, he replied. Translation, now that I knew what was happening, their original plan was falling apart. The next day, my attorney arranged a meeting with all parties, my father, my uncle, myself, the developer, and our respective legal representation. The developer presented his plan for the property and increased his offer to $1.9 million. When it was time to discuss terms, my father finally spoke up. We should get a larger share, he said, not looking at me. We've been maintaining the property all these years. My attorney was prepared. She presented an itemized accounting of property taxes, which I had been paying my full third of by direct transfer to my father, maintenance costs, minimal, as they had let the property deteriorate, and the potential damages I could claim for their attempted self-dealing. By the end of the meeting, they had agreed to an equal three-way split, as originally intended in my grandfather's will. The sale is proceeding now, with closing expected in 4 weeks. My share will be approximately $630,000 after taxes and fees. The family fallout continues. Some relatives have sided with my father and uncle, claiming I'm tearing the family apart for money. Others have quietly reached out to congratulate me for standing my ground. My sister texted yesterday, I understand why you did it, but I don't know if they'll ever forgive you. I replied, I'm not the one who needs forgiveness. It's been about a month since my last update, and today I'm writing what will probably be my final post on this situation. The property sale closed successfully 2 weeks ago, and the drama continues. First, the financial aspects. The sale completed at $2 million. The developer increased the offer once more during negotiations. Split 3 ways, as legally required, my share came to $650,000 after taxes and fees, slightly more than estimated due to some tax advantages my accountant found. The closing day itself was awkward. My father, uncle, and I sat at the same table, signing document after document, watching as the property that had been in our family for generations was legally transferred to the developer. After the closing, we stood in the parking lot, each holding our respective checks, unsure what to say. Your grandfather would be proud of how you handled this, my uncle finally said, surprising me. Not happy about selling, maybe, but proud of me for standing my ground. My father nodded in agreement. He always said you had backbone. Yes, he was right. It wasn't exactly a tearful reconciliation, but it was something, an acknowledgement that perhaps I wasn't just the difficult outsider they had painted me as for so long. My sister delivered her baby 3 days after the closing. I visited them in the hospital and let them know I'd set up a college fund for the baby. The money is in a professionally managed trust that can only be used for education. My sister's husband looked disappointed at the restrictions, but my sister herself seemed to understand. This is more than fair, she said quietly. Thank you. My father and uncle both made surprisingly responsible decisions with their shares. My father paid off his mortgage and set up retirement accounts. My uncle invested in legitimate business opportunities rather than the get-rich-quick schemes he had favored in the past. Whether this represents genuine change or just temporary caution after their failed scheme, only time will tell. As for my sister's husband, he's been MIA from family gatherings. Word on the street is that his development company is facing financial difficulties after losing the opportunity with our property. Karma is working overtime. Last weekend, I visited the old property one final time before construction begins in earnest. Standing on the hill overlooking the pond, I thought about what might have happened if I'd simply signed those papers without question, as my family had expected. They would have gotten their quick cash, my sister's husband would have made millions, and I would never have known what was lost. We're not magically healed as a family. There are still tensions and old resentments that surface in our interactions, but there's also a new awareness, a reassessment of old patterns. My father called yesterday to tell me they're planning a family gathering next month. We'd like you to come, he said, adding after a pause, we like your opinion on a few things. I had to smile at that choice of words. I'll be there, I promised. Sometimes the most valuable things we inherit aren't measured in acres or dollars but in the wisdom to recognize when to stand our ground. I don't know what the future holds for our family relationships, but I do know this: the next time someone tells me, we don't need your opinion, just your signature, I'll remember what happened when I finally spoke up instead.